Well, it is 6:30, so we will call tonight's March 2nd work session, 6:30 to order. Welcome to all those in attendance. Reverend Favors, you want to bless this meeting as well?
I'm about to say,
You can just
we
do
need to
it.
do the pledge.
We don't need to. We could skip it.
Just skip that,
All
yeah.
right. The first item for approval is tonight's agenda. Is there a motion for approval?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Holloman, second by Commissioner Favors. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Information announcements were the same as those just a few minutes ago. ACCG Capital Conference and the spring sports registration. Move on to our staff reports. I'll turn the floor over to Mr. Burton.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have quite a few things to bring y'all up to speed on. Nothing prepared yet for action items, but they will be. Some of these will be ready for the next meeting. Raisable Fire Station, we did issue a notice of award, waiting on bonds to come back from the contractor on that. And the same way with the roof replacement project for the Public Works and the Elections Building. I've gotten some submittals from them to approve for the roofing material, so that'll be signed contract, notice to proceed will be coming probably this week. Empire median cut, this is an economic development project. We'll be issuing an invitation to bid for that as well. Big Heart bathhouse, that was damaged during the storms. And we got insurance money for that, so I'll be putting together an invitation to bid to replace the roof and repair I call it the bathhouse, but the toilet building out at the day use out at Big Heart. The baseball towers, last meeting y'all approved the phase one to commence with that. They've mobilized on site, erected their safety fence and got a dumpster. I met with them Thursday and worked through a plan on that. They'll be stripping the building and replacing those damaged components to get the building dried in, and then we'll move into the second phase. They'll get a plan and a cost estimate for that, and I'll bring that to y'all. For the second phase, we're looking at gutting the top part, adding windows for more viewability, removing those offices that are up there in those rooms, so that'll be an open area, much like the softball tower. And on the bottom floor, we'll introduce a couple of ADA compliant restrooms that are accessible from the outside of the building and refresh the interior. And then adding some roll-up doors to serve as concession things as well. And then just refreshing the entire interior of that.
What kind of time frame you looking at on that?
The closing the envelope is probably about 4 weeks, and I'm gonna say it's probably 8 weeks or maybe a touch longer on the second phase, but they're still working.
To begin on it? To begin the second phase? Or
Probably
complete?
about 4 weeks, probably about a month. As soon as they get the exterior, get everything shored up, they can start on the interior remodel. So probably within a month, depending on how quickly they get me their schedule and the estimate. And we come to terms on all the work that needs to be done.
That'd be good. That would be pretty much before baseball season.
It'll
Not
be
totally,
tight.
but-
It'll run into it.
Yeah, it'll run into
And
a
that's
little bit.
barring that, we don't run into something unforeseen. But the second phase will obviously be slower because we'll be cutting into the existing wall. There'll be some concrete slab work for the plumbing for those ADA restrooms. So it'll be a little bit more time consuming and labor intensive on that one. But as soon as they get that, and I can bring that to y'all to approve that second phase, it'll start moving along too. So.
Good.
Wrightsboro Road Sewer, phase 2, we got all the right-of-way information resolved. There was some conflict there the designers didn't have all the information that they needed. The county attorney was able to provide us the needed documentation. We've got a meeting on Monday, next Monday, to do a site visit and then to walk through everything. The contract or the bid documents, the drawings, the spec packages has all been approved. So once we have that meeting, we can go ahead and issue an invitation to bid for that one as well.
Do we have, I know some of that soft grant, but how much are we responsible for on that second project?
There was a $1 million grant.
Right.
Do you remember how much
We got a
match
grant for
was?
1.1 million.
And I think that was the congressional earmark, so that
Right.
that should be all funded out
That
of
should cover the whole thing?
It should cover the whole thing. The last estimate I saw, it would cover the whole thing, because there wasn't a match to that one. That was the earmark.
Okay, I just was wondering if that would cover it, but cover it completely, but, you know, if that's what the bid. Okay.
The FY '25 audit, that closes Friday. And once we get those, we'll start reviewing those proposals and bring those back to y'all. The Rock House Road project, that's the TIA-funded project. We're still waiting on final confirmation from the Army Corps of Engineers. We've sent the drawings off, the pollution control drawings off to Georgia Soil and Water, awaiting their approval. The notice of intent has been filed with EPD. The Rock House building project, we've met with the advisory committee, and that one's still in the hopper to develop the RFQ to get someone with historical preservation, construction knowledge to work on that. And that's a piece I've still got to touch base with Art Collab and have them review that RFQ. Received some quotes on the HR handbook from various sources. There's a company out of Atlanta that gave us they gave us an hourly rate and looked at what we had and estimated, so we probably would come out pretty good on that one. I'm thinking around 5,000, if that, to turn that project around. Dovetailing on that one's class and comp study that we discussed during the budget. UGA Archway has reached out to us, and they're interested in working on that. I had a brief conversation with them the other day, answered some of their questions, so they'll be putting together a proposal to bring back to us on that one as well. The notification system for the fire department or for emergency services in general, we had been with Code Red. They had some data integrity issues, and a lot of folks are going away from them. We've got a company that Columbia County's used, and a lot of other jurisdictions in Georgia has used. Hypersolve, I believe is the name. They did send me a draft of their agreement. I'll review that one. And the city had also indicated that they were amenable to paying a portion of it, so we can use that for boil notices, water outages, things of that nature. So it's a system that works on Android and iPhones. You can download the app, you can go on the website, fill out your pertinent information, and you can get notices on that. So we're working through that, and we'll bring that to y'all. Time clocks, with our current system, the physical time clocks, they're starting to break down, they're wearing out, roughly $3,000 a piece to replace. Looking at the system that the county used to use was TMS. They have a web version, so we can go away with the time clocks and use tablets at different places. Employees can put an app on their phone. They're geo-fenced, so that prevents them from clocking in Augusta and showing that they're at work here. So we have a little bit more controls. This also allows them to submit leave requests electronically, and they're all married into the timesheet. Right now, it's a manual system. They fill out a leave request, and there's just a lot of moving pieces, so this will sort of modernize our timekeeping system. And obviously, a tablet's a lot cheaper if it gets damaged or falls off the wall or something's a lot easier to replace than a $3,000 time clock. So the city is, they're on the same system as we are, and they're good with switching over to that as well. So I'll have more information on that one. Information, I won't say is sketchy, but with everything going on with the federal government, there is some USDA funding that's potentially available. Working with CSRA, Regional Commission on that. There is either a loan/grant program, and we can probably use that towards the morgue for equipment to marry that. I didn't want to have that discussion with the SPLOST discussion in case something fell through, but just know we're exploring avenues to get more money for the corner facility in the morgue. This might be an option, but with the turmoil going on in DC and funding and stuff, we're not exactly sure when that direction will come down, but I did want to make you aware of that. Out at Sweetwater, the letters are off the building. Staff out there, we found someone that can do some cleanup, pressure washing out the facade of the building, the sidewalks and some of the bleachers, and the small piece of fencing to fence off the electrical components that are up on that upper field. That's been taken care of, and also they spliced and reburied that damaged electrical wire. So we'll be able to use that field up there for activities. And that's all I will mention the lawn care, but that'll probably go into our discussion under new business. So that's all I have at this time.
Are there any questions from the board? If not, we'll move on to new business. As Mr. Burton explained, lawn care and landscaping. So we got two different locations here, one being the government center and one being the old courthouse. In your packet, Clerk Goodyear gave you a layout of the government center landscaping plan that Cranston did. That was done before I took office. I think there was $125,000 in our last SPLOST for landscaping. The plans here showed taking the front grass lawn and putting in some subsurface that would allow people to park on it. Basically, you could use it as a parking lot as well. When we went out to bid for the Blind Willie McTell Amphitheater and Park, this was added as an add-on alternate. And you see there with the spreadsheet that the low bid was $470. Some of you may remember from the work session there discussing that, but this plan that Cranston developed came in, or the low bid there came in at $470,000. So way over the budget. Mr. Burton and I have been talking about this, and we've both discussed maybe just taking some of the locations that need attention, one being the corner here where the two buildings join, some of the other shrubbery beds that need to be replaced, and having staff write up the bid specs and going out for bid to see what that cost would be, because at this point we're $470,000, that's way over budget compared to what we had in SPLOST. So we'll discuss that one first. Mr. Burton, you want to add anything there on?
Yeah, I guess the intention is to issue a RFP for both the old courthouse and the government center. We highlight the things that we would like to see on both grounds, and then ask a landscaper to take these drawings and the modifications or, you know, we'll put into written format what we desire to see, write our scope of work, and then have them present us proposals on how we get there. And then, subsequent to that, either we can include it in the RFP that we'd also entertain what it would cost to maintain the grounds at the two facilities. And that way, they would have somebody on a contractual basis to keep everything up, make sure it's well manicured, weeded, et cetera. That's the intention on that. We just wanted to get your feedback on if that was a direction that you would like to go, or if you had any comments on that.
Have y'all talked to Archway about any of this?
We have not, no.
They, you know, they have access to the landscaping, what do you call them, the landscape architecture type thing, and I was looking at these things, and boy, there's a lot of stuff that they're putting in here, and when I was looking through it, I mean, you're looking at removing a bunch of trees and then doing two additions of adding back stuff. Maybe we get some input from them on that, cause
That was my train of thought, that we could scale this back a little bit, something that would be low maintenance and not require so much.
well, though, I was looking at that, that's a lot of stuff, and that's a lot of maintenance and a lot of expense, and
That's kind of what Brandon was saying, is that they could write up bid specs and put this out to bid to see if we get some better pricing on a more low maintenance and cost effective job.
yeah, I concur with that totally, cause, wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And then probably the maintenance on it would, after the 470, it probably might be 400 for maintenance almost
Well,
on
that's the
some
other
of
thing, we
those
wanna keep
plants.
that in mind, the long-term cost of it.
Yeah. So you gonna run that by, Archway?
Yeah, I can definitely, I can have that conversation with Archway and see if they have some folks available to pare this down and give us something, you know,
Well, I
obviously we
think they
want
did
something that
the,
looks nice, but
They
something.
did
that's-
Sweetwater, didn't they? Didn't Archway do that?
They did
That's
plans
before
for
my
all of
time.
our parks, but, you can double check with Sarah, but I think that they did a plan.
Okay.
And that Cranston used some of their ideas for this,
Okay.
so, but we can double check on that. All right, is there any further discussion on that? If not, is there a motion to move into executive session about litigation?
I'll make a motion.
Commissioner Holland,
Second.
Commissioner Joplin seconded, all in favor? All right, we'll move at 6:49.